When Jeff Nippard said in a video that I covered the other day where he slashed his workout in half and now he's gaining all this much more muscle and all this crap. We just did a video on it. You guys could check it out if you didn't see it. He says at one point in the video,
it's so insane how much better you lock in when you only have 2 sets to do. If I knew I had like 4 sets on that, I would be dragging my feet 100%. The fact that I know I've only got 2, bro, I lock in and go crazy. Yeah.
But he said that he would have dragged his feet knowing if he had 6 sets to do or something like that. That tells me, and I mentioned it in the video, that tells me that Jeff typically loses before he walks in the gym. This is what training hard is. Jeff has been wasting years of his life literally doing nothing in the gym. Guy's physique is great. Can't argue that. But he's literally been wasting years and sets and reps dragging his ass. That's what he's been doing. He literally told us that the other day on camera when I did the commentary on it. Oh, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Very excited to be here today. I apologize about my shirt. It's a little stretched out on one side. Hope that all you guys with the, ADHD or like OCD, whatever, can deal with that, especially now that I pointed it out.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Anyway, welcome back to the channel. Very happy to be here today, and thank you all for the support on the channel. I was reached out to by a few subscribers a while back. I have been slacking. Please forgive me. Life has been crazy. We've been getting construction done on the house. It's just crazy over here. But anyway, I got a request from a couple of people to check out the Larry Wheels video called Natural 62-year-old spent 29 years in prison, 500-pound deadlift. Now, I'm just going to go out on a limb and take a look at the thumbnail on this video. I think Larry Wheels, after training with Julian, went and found Julian's dad. That's the only thing I can think of, because tell me this guy does not look like Julian Fitzgerald in like 5 years. If Julian is actually, in fact, on steroids. If he's not on steroids, he might look like this never. You know what I'm saying? But Larry is actually, I believe, like 30 years old or something like that. The guy, to me, most of the time looks like he's in his like late 40s. Tell me what you guys think. Anyway, I got asked to check out this video and just like do a response and a reaction to it. So I don't really know what to expect. Have not watched this video, but according to the comments, you got a lot of people who obviously, you guys tell me, is Larry putting in the title natural in all capital letters, natural 62-year-old blah, 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 because he knows this guy don't look natural and he wants people to comment in the comments that this guy ain't natural, that this guy is as natural as Mike O'Hearn. You guys tell me, is Larry that smart? He might be. That's a great tactic. Very, very good. Anyway.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Let's get into this video. Not sure what to expect. Not really sure why you guys wanted to see a reaction to this video, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that since this video is quite long, looks like this video is almost 40 minutes, that all you guys who want the 2-hour video are going to get it today. I believe you will. I know you guys love the 2-hour videos. Sometimes they're less, but with a 42-minute or close to 40-minute video, usually under normal circumstances, if I have a lot to say, it comes out to be about 2 hours. I never just talk for no reason. I try to get to the point as best as possible. I never try to like unnaturally prolong a video. So anyway, let's get into this video and see what's going on with Larry and this natural 62-year-old who was in prison.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are here at One Gen Gym in Claremont, California with a very special guest, Body by Jim. here at 62 years old in what I want to say is incredible shape and condition. And he got out back in 2019 from prison. So after 29 years,
this guy is, in fact, in incredible shape. Unbelievable. I am telling you, this guy looks so much like Julian. It is unbelievable. The first thing that my eyes are drawn to are his traps. His traps, in comparison to the rest of his body, are extremely, from this angle, extremely undeveloped, which is pretty wild considering the rest of him, including his hands and forearms, are just insane. It shows you what genetics can do. Now, I'm just going to go and let you guys know. Obviously, I have no clue if this guy is natural, and I'm not going to be telling you that he's not. I don't know the man. The fact that the guy is 62 years old means I'm automatically going to show him more respect than I would to most people, especially if the guy is cool. You know what I mean? Like, if you got some older guy who's acting like a jackass, then yeah, the respect is going to taper down, regardless of your age. But this guy, no idea who he is. He seems to be cool so far. He hasn't said a word. But the guy does, in fact, look absolutely amazing. I would not put it past the idea that this guy is, in fact, on like TRT or something like that. Again, I don't know and I can't say. And we're going to go off of him saying he's natural for now, right? But it is just mind-blowing what his physique is. And the fact that he's 62 years old and can maintain a physique like this at this age is just insane. Now, another thing I want to mention is I've met a lot of black guys. I got a lot of black people in my life, right? I was going to say a lot of black friends, which is true, but I didn't, because I know I have people in the comments say, oh, you white people always say you got black friends, but you're all racist. I've heard that a million times, not to me, but in general, like with memes online and stuff. I'm just going to be honest here and say black don't crack typically, right? I got a friend who's in her 60s and she looks like she is in her 30s. When she says she has kids, you look at her 4 and 5 times like, how do you have kids? It's impossible. So his face, with all due respect to him, does look, in fact, older. And as we know, drugs tend to age your face. His body looks like the body of a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old who's been training like crazy. But his face does not look that young to me. And I find that to be a little interesting because typically, like I said, black don't crack. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. All respect to this guy. All respect to Larry. I think Larry's the man. I love the guy. I think he's fantastic. Really loved how he was able to hold his composure when he was working with Julian in those other videos. But he looks like he's showing the utmost respect to this gentleman here. And that's because, obviously, of his age. And so I can't wait to hear this guy's story. I'm hoping they get into his story. Seems like a very interesting character.
Still able to hold in incredible shape. The camera doesn't do you any justice. Absolutely mind-boggling seeing someone at your age in this condition. Not just how lean you are, but your skin, everything looks great, you know? So I'm really looking forward to today's workout because it's going to be a prison-style workout, right?
Yes.
That you did back when you were spending time behind bars.
Right.
And I would love to pick your brain on how you managed to stay in shape under those conditions.
Right. I used speed, power, balance, time and control movement with coordination, right? Combine all forms of exercise, powerlifting, bodybuilding, calisthenics, yoga, you know, do it all at one time. Control breathing, mind to the muscle control.
Did he say yogurt?
Yogurt.
Trying to figure out why home dude's staring so hard. I'm just eating yogurt.
So this guy just rattled off a whole list of stuff that he uses. Basically, like, he don't want this video to go more than 10 minutes. But we can see we got a lot more to come. Now, another thing I want to say is I have heard from many people in the comments, and I actually have some friends who do work in the prison system. Now, every state is going to have their own prison system, right? Things are going to work differently. But I've been told by many people online, you guys chime in the comments, and I've also been told by my friends as well, that you absolutely can get steroids as well as HRT, which is steroids, essentially. But the dose, in theory, is like at a more normal dose, I guess we'll call it. You can get them in the prison system, okay? People smuggle things into jail. We've seen many movies about it, right? So many people in the comments are going to tell me this guy has to be natural. If he looked like this when he was in prison, it's the prison style workout. They just train like crazy. And then you're going to have a whole bunch of other people saying, shut your mouth, you're wrong. You can absolutely get stuff in prison and all this crazy stuff, right? So I'm just going to dispel the myth that you can't smuggle stuff in. Dispel the myth that if you're on medication, they're not going to give it to you, especially if you are in a liberal place like New York, California. They're going to let you do whatever the hell you want. I've heard stories of men who claim to be women because they assume their own gender, who end up, the men get put into the women's prison, and then a few months down the road, you find out that the women are pregnant. And it's like, how did that happen? Well, it's because you had a man in there. And despite the fact that you want to be liberal, the guy has working parts, and things happen. So just imagine, if that can happen, don't tell me there's no way you can't get stuff behind the scenes or just up front from the doctor in the prison. Don't tell me that, okay? It don't make no sense.
Training program that progressively increase the repetitious or weights every week. You don't want to get the muscle get stagnated or conditioned, so you want to just keep pumping more blood into those muscles every time you train. Get them bigger, stronger, toner, and definer.
Look at Larry's face here. This guy has such an interesting face. He might wear contacts, and his eyes might get a little dry while he's talking. Maybe that's why his face kind of sometimes goes and gets weird. I don't know. You guys let me know. You guys know a lot more than me.
Are you natural? But we're not going to answer it now. We're going to answer at the end of the video.
Yeah.
So before we answer, what are we going to do first for the workout?
We're going to start out with a light chest workout, and we'll do some arms, we'll do some back, we'll do a little shoulders.
I guess Larry just decided to give up on the question of whether or not he's natural in the video because he put it in the title. Strangely enough.
So let's get to it. Let's see what we do first.
Okay, all right, all ready.
How do you normally warm up for bench press?
I usually warm up with one plate.
All right. Looking at this gentleman here from the angle that we have, not only is he absolutely freaking jacked, I mean, you can really see his traps actually now. They're much bigger than what they looked like before. As always, camera angles change everything. When you hold the camera lower, you're going to look different than when you raise it up above. You're going to look bigger when you hold it lower. You're going to look more narrow when you hold it higher. So all that makes a difference. This guy, from the angle of which we're looking, is absolutely huge. But again, he looks way older, in my opinion, than honestly any 62-year-olds that I know. Now, something that's a very real thing is the fact that this guy might have seen a lot of stuff. Larry is letting us know well in advance that the guy has been in prison, okay? He might have been seeing a lot of stuff. He might have been through a lot of stuff. He might have had a hard life. They haven't gotten into it yet. Hopefully they do. I'm very interested to hear his story. He looks like he has a long life written on his face, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just have to say, he looks older than any 62-year-old I've ever seen in my life. And with the way he's moving, he also seems to be moving way slower than any 62-year-old that I have personally seen in my life. Now, he also is a bodybuilder. Look at the guy. He's yoked. So this puts a lot of stress and strain on your body, okay? You're training every day, in theory or whatever, however many times you train, you're lifting heavy weight, same movements over and over and over. That's going to take a toll on your body. And let me tell you, I know all about it. With my left arm right now, I'm dealing with something in my arm where I was just walking around the house the other day, da-di-da-di-da, move my arm, and then all of a sudden, I can't raise my freaking arm. So I got to get to the doctor. I haven't been able to lift my arm normally in days. I'm on 800 milligrams of ibuprofen every 12 hours or some crap, whatever it is. And so these things happen. Massages are a big deal. You see how Sam Sulek all the time looks very hunched over. His chest is very caved in. Well, we found out that the reason why is because he needs to be loosened up. I believe it was Jay Cutler and I believe Arnold Schwarzenegger, a bunch of bodybuilders told him, hey, your muscles are too tight. It's pulling you in. You need to get massages. And that's something I have to do. But the damn massages are expensive, even in Mexico. I don't want to be spending those pesos. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I avoid it. But I need to really get on it. But at the end of the day, the guy's moving old. He's looking in his face older. No disrespect to him. I don't mean to come across as disrespectful, but at the end of the day, the guy looks amazing, but at the same time, he seems to be moving just a bit, off to me. 62 years old, he should be much more spry, in my opinion. But let's see what we got.
Power, balance, time, and control, movement, coordination. Pushing back towards the right. Inhale. Right. Good breathing.
I love how this guy is commending Larry on his breathing. He started off telling Larry what the form should look like. It's just hilarious. Maybe he doesn't know who Larry is, but we have seen Larry in the past. We've seen him train with a little bit where the form was it could have been better. Just because he's a professional doesn't mean that the form is not going to be amazing. It doesn't. Just because he's a professional does not mean the form will be amazing. So we've seen him train a little weird in the past, but with bench press, Larry's got it, man.
Let's get it. Let's go, Larry. Come on. Easy way. Come on. Come on. Yes! Come on!
The guy knows what he's doing. The guy is world renowned for his training. So the fact that this guy's trying to coach him on how to lift is just, it's adorable. Older people, they got stuff to share, which is great. That's how younger people learn. If you keep your ears open and you're around a wise older person, because there's a lot of not wise older people, then you can gain some amazing knowledge and not have to go through the life course in order to learn that knowledge. You can just learn it through the wisdom. But anyway, I just think it's adorable how the guy's telling Larry what to do. It's cool. It's very good.
That's right.
How was your equipment when you were behind bars? Did you have access to decent equipment?
Yeah, it was decent equipment.
And you mentioned powerlifting.
Yes.
Did you ever do a 1 rep max?
Yes.
Do you remember what that was?
Yes, I did 385 in a competition.
Okay.
4 or 5 outside the competition.
Okay. Perfect. Yes. I noticed you seem to do 5 reps slow and then 5 reps fast.
Right. Well, I was just feeling the weight at the beginning.
Okay.
Right. But the ultimate goal is to use speed, power, balance, time, and coordination with controlled movement. Right. You don't want to burn the muscles out going slow. Right. You want to pump the blood up in the muscles going fast. That's how you get a nice pump.
Speed, power, balance, control. He's referring, I'm assuming, to the warm-up. I love that he did 5 reps slow and then 5 reps fast. I love that. Now, I'm not like telling you to go doing it fast. I thought it was a little fast, a little too fast, but it's a warm-up, so it really doesn't matter. On a warm-up, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Now, if he's doing his working sets like this, I would say it's probably best to slow it up a bit on the concentric phase. On the eccentric phase. You want to be powerful and have speed, under control, right? And then come down a bit slower. So like double the time it took you to go up, you come down to get that eccentric, to really capitalize on it. So that's what I would recommend. Now, do you have to do stuff like that? Absolutely not. You can grow by doing almost damn near anything, as long as you're consistent. So, I haven't seen him train under a working set yet, but based on what he's saying, it's interesting how he just kind of rattles off speed, power, balance, control, blah, 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 blah. I didn't hear him ever say time under tension. Not that he had to, some people, surprisingly enough, some people out there think time under tension isn't even real. You know what I'm saying? So no judgment to the guy. I do know and believe that time under tension is absolutely real and it's important. And when you do reps that fast, you're not getting as much time under tension. But of course, he's doing very lightweight. I love how he felt it out. He's got to know what 2 plates of 45 pounds feel like. But at the same time, he didn't just go ahead and be like, yeah, I've done this before. I'm just going to go Speedy Gonzalez in the beginning. He felt it out, and I'm the same way, because your body sometimes, it doesn't function as you would normally think. Again, I'm walking around the house, la-di-da-di-da, and I'm doing nothing, and my arm went out. Imagine if I was under a lift. So insane. But another thing I want to mention too, though, however, is he did 5 slow to feel it out, right? But then he did 5 fast, okay? After I believe the 5 fast, especially during a warm-up, especially at his age or at any of our ages, really, it could actually potentially hurt you, right? If you pull something because you just decide to not warm up and go very fast, well, that could be an issue. And then you're the guy walking around saying, yeah, I ended up, ripping a rotator cuff or screwing my AC joint up off of 2 plates, right? And then that's kind of weird. Oh, how'd you get hurt? Oh, I was lifting 2 plates. Oh, you look like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Everybody's body is different. Know your body. Clearly, he knows his body well enough to know that he can do that. And another thing to take into consideration is it was also very possible that this gentleman and Larry warmed up or got a pump in advance of starting to film here. Okay, why? You want to look your best on camera. And if you don't get a pump, you're not going to look your best. For me, I'm not pumped up right now. If I was pumped up, I would be like, under a good pump, double the size that I am now. Double the size. I'm not the kind of guy who pumps up before videos. I don't really care. But if I did pump up, you'll see certain videos of mine where I look huge. And then other videos where I look like a complete normal person. Sometimes I'll have a t-shirt on. When I have a t-shirt on, I look super small. When I have a tank top on, I look way bigger. As I've told you guys a million times, my shoulders are indeed the same size in reality, but on camera, they don't look the same size. Why? Lighting, angles, and all that stuff. So all you guys call me out in the comments and say, you have a muscle imbalance. I don't. Just so you know. Anyway, I hope all that made sense. Slow down your warm-ups. In my opinion, warm up right for your body. Don't get hurt. Guys, I haven't trained in like 2 months between injuries. Life's just been killing me lately. I have no clue what's going on. This has never happened in my life. You wake up and you got a problem. It's unbelievable.
I'm just getting old.
We did one set with one plate, and I see everything coming to life already.
Right.
So what's your diet like? Because what I'm looking at right now is nearly as conditioned as I was for my last bodybuilding competition when I was probably about 2 to 1 weeks out.
Right.
So do you follow a diet?
I eat anything and everything. I just use my food as energy.
So you have carbs, junk food, or?
I don't know nothing about no calories, no this, that, and the other. I just, eat. Right now I'm underweight, because I'm not eating enough meals, 5 or 6 meals a day, but, the diet is something I'm going to work on in the near future.
So the diet is something he needs to work on. I love this guy. I really do. Like so far, because, people have surprised me in the past, but I like the guy. The diet is something I need to work on in the near future. The guy's got a great smile. Look at this guy's face. But, the diet is something he needs to work on. He eats anything and everything, 62 years old, massive amounts of muscle. He uses his food as fuel. Okay. Typically, when people get older, their metabolism slows up. Typically, they're less active, right? This guy is a special case. Clearly, he's quite active. That goes without saying. But when you're older, your metabolism slows a lot of the time, and you tend to gain weight more, even people in their 30s. I was an overweight child, and if I eat whatever I want, I am going to be an overweight adult. I literally, when people look at me, they look at me and they're like, wow, you must be able to eat whatever you want. You got to feed those muscles. No, bro, it's not true. I have to be very meticulous about my diet. I have to, because if I don't, I will spill over. I will be looking like, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy. I mean, not that big though. I will look like, what sucks is when you gain weight, your rips leave. So for example, right now, if I took my shirt off, I'd look pretty decent. I have muscles that pop, right? But if I gain a little weight and I get a little too fluffy, all of a sudden it looks like I don't even train. When I take my shirt off. This guy claiming that he uses food as muscle, as fuel, obviously that's what we want to use food for, right? That's the whole point. But it's interesting that he does not follow any type of diet, and he is ripped as Larry Wheels was 2 weeks out from his competition. That is mind-blowing. Now, could it be genetics? Of course it could be. Could it be other things? Abso-freaking-lutely it could. The guy has, not that it matters, but the guy has a deltoid vein staring me in the face. I've been accused of that, however, from my viewers. Joe, your deltoid vein staring me in the face. Yes, it happens. When you're low body fat, it happens. And he has a pump. It's going to happen, right? So, but the point is, the guy seems to be very efficient at where his calories go. He actually said that he's underweight at the moment. Very interesting. Now, people who are on drugs tend to use their calories differently, right? So people who are on, I don't know, for example, Tren, right? Or whatever the heck they're on, probably any anabolic androgenic steroid, their nutrient partitioning is going to happen. So what's going to happen? They're going to end up, when they eat food, more of the calories are going to go towards muscle building if they're training, okay? He trains. So let's say he eats anything and everything. Chances are, if he's on stuff, which honestly, I think it's very likely he is. But if he's on stuff, those calories are going to go to building his physique rather than go to fat stores, okay? Amazing, amazing stuff. Now, I'm not telling you guys to take drugs. I'm just telling you what happens. And so people like him who have a lot of muscle mass, who are potentially maybe on stuff, they're going to be able to use their calories in a much more efficient manner for building muscle. Where normal people, they are going to end up getting fat. Okay? That's just the reality. So don't look at this guy and be like, well, if a 62-year-old doesn't track his calories, eats whatever he wants, and just trains, that I can look like that. No. Now, I'm interested in knowing if he does cardio. Why? Because if he eats anything and everything, if he's not doing cardio and he doesn't watch his diet, and if he's eating a ton of food, you better damn well know that the guy will gain weight. Take a look at bodybuilders. Take a look at powerlifters. They have to diet down. This is a myth. When people think, oh, bodybuilders have so much muscle, they don't need to diet ever because their muscles eat up all the calories. We've already dispelled this myth on the channel. It's not true. If that was the case, they would not have to diet down. They would not have to cut for shows. Okay? Take a look at Jay Cutler. When he was in his off season, okay? If his muscles were doing that much, he'd never get to that point. So just keep all this stuff in mind. Maybe you guys know this, maybe you don't, but I want to share it with you guys just because I want to contribute to your knowledge base if I can.
I want the full body figure like you got.
You know what? I'm on a diet right now, but screw it. You know, I'm like, if you can look like this, not dieting, I give up.
Right.
That's it.
Even Larry just said he is on a diet right now. He's on a diet right now. Larry Wheels is on a diet. Of course he is. He may weigh, I don't even know how many pounds of muscle, but he's on a diet. And that's because muscle does not, it's not efficient enough at burning calories like cardio is. So if this guy doesn't do cardio, he doesn't watch his weight, he doesn't watch his calories, he may not eat as much as what he, gives you the idea that he does. Oh, I eat whatever I want. Some people say, yeah, I eat whatever I want, but they only eat once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day. He did say he was a little undernourished at the moment. So it's very possible. But, just some food for thought. Food, no pun intended.
Inhale.
So I do agree that bringing the bar slightly higher than where I'm bringing it gives you a better contraction in the chest and shoulder.
Right.
But it also irritates my rotator.
Yeah, it does. It's going to burn those front deltoid muscles.
Yeah.
But it's going to tighten your weakest upper part of your chest. Mm-hmm. All right? So always focus on the weakest part, lead with the weakest part so it don't get left behind.
Very interesting that Larry seemingly randomly brought up that he likes to hold the bar a little bit more high than his mid-chest, but it irritates his rotator cuff, which is probably where I'm having my issue with. It's a very real thing, guys. Don't underestimate this. Look at the seriousness in my face. You may be fine now. You may be 20 years old. Your shoulders are going to get so damn beat up, even if you do things right. But if you do them wrong, just imagine how much worse. Don't live for today, live for the next 30 years. But the point is that Larry seemingly randomly brought this up. I'm assuming it's because this gentleman here, I keep calling him this gentleman because I don't remember his name. I think it was Will. But I'm just going to keep calling him this gentleman as a way of respect as well because he's an older gentleman. So this gentleman here, I'm assuming told him, why don't you hold it up higher? You're going to get more of your upper pecs, right? Because if you hold it higher, you will hit more of your upper pecs. You're also going to destroy your freaking shoulders. We saw Larry training with Sam Sulik, and I told you guys that when they were doing the hammer strength machine, I forget what that's called, the incline bench machine, I think it's called a hammer strength. When they were doing that, they were sitting too freaking low. All the weight that they put on that thing for their chest was going on their shoulders. Now, while that machine is made to hit upper chest and shoulder, there's still, in my opinion, a right and wrong way to do it. And they were sitting way too low.
Oh, jeez. I do not feel good. Shoulders are feeling rusty.
We're getting there. But I've been thinking about this.
When we saw Urs Kalasinski using the same machine, he was seated correctly, where it was more mid-chest. Why is this important? Well, Larry and Sam were destroying their freaking shoulders when they were in the gym that day. And it was avoidable. It was completely and utterly avoidable.
Oh, yeah.
Working.
Oh. You've been watching Jeff Nippert videos on length and partials.
See, that's how you know he's not enhanced, because he said you put it in your arm and you don't inject in your arm.
And Larry even went and said on camera, oh, my shoulders are killing me or something along those lines. So you can see it's very important to take care of your shoulders. If this gentleman told Larry to hold the bar more upwards, because even after Larry said why he doesn't do it, he told him, yeah, well, lead with your weakest body part, blah, 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 blah. I don't think he understands that Larry does not want the problems. Larry does not need the problems. In my opinion, if you're going to be doing your upper chest, I recommend to you guys put the bench on an incline. It's going to set you up in a safer position to do your upper chest, in my opinion. You're still going to be hitting your front delts for sure, because there's no question you will. But I think it's a safer way to go about doing it than trying to hit upper chest on a flat bench. Now, if you want the safest way to train your upper chest, I recommend maybe putting a seated bench in front of your cable machine or whatever you're using, and use the cable machine to target that upper chest, okay? You could do incline, you could do decline, you could do mid. Either way, you're going to get a great squeeze for your entire chest, and you're going to be taking a large majority of the delt activation out. Not all of it, but a large majority of it. So if you have weak delts, if you have injuries, you might still be able to train despite those injuries.
Good. Yep.
So we just saw this gentleman doing extremely fast reps. And again, I don't think this is their working set, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I believe he does his working sets like this too. It's very fast for me. Now, you guys could totally do it. There's nothing wrong with it, but less time under tension. And it's actually also possibly more dangerous because you're bringing it down so fast that the momentum might get the best of you and you could lose control. He seems to have excellent control of the bar, but of course there's lighter weights on here right now. So it's, it's whatever you guys like to do. But in my opinion, more slow and controlled on the way down, powerful on the way up, more powerful, more fast, under control always, and slower on the way down. More time under tension, feel that burn. You may want to pause at the top. It's going to make things harder. You may want to pause in the middle, make things harder. You can do whatever you like. I do remember in the beginning of the video, he did mention that he does not want to go too slow because then you're just going to burn yourself out. I do agree with him. You don't want to do 4 and 5 second eccentrics. You can, but I've had people in the past reach out and be like, hey, Joe, what do you think about 4 and 5 second eccentrics? And I think they're unnecessary. I think you want to get your volume in, and I think you want to do it at a good, solid pace that's fun and enjoyable, and you're getting your reps in, you're feeling the burn and all this stuff. A 4 and 5 second eccentric is overkill, I think. And doing what this gentleman is doing here is overkill as well, but everybody trains how they want. It's not necessarily wrong by any means. And when people say, oh, that's akin or, the same as doing cardio, what he's doing with yeah, he's breathing very heavy, but certainly, guys, you know that it's not really like doing cardio. You're not going to get on one of these benches, go, and then all of a sudden you're going to be losing weight like you are if you were jogging or something like that. So, just another tidbit to throw in there.
I mean, with how light it looks in your hands, I would think if you were to test your 1 rep max, not suggesting we do that today, you're probably around 365.
Not today. It's just that I'm good with rep weights, lightweight, but my max is not real good right now. It's heavyweight because I'm just doing reps.
Understood. And it's good for longevity not to do 1 rep maxes.
Right.
I think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I haven't been doing any heavy lifting.
I think it is so funny that Larry is like, so if you did a 1 rep max, I'm not suggesting that today. I love how he threw that in there. But I also love how this gentleman here said, I'm not doing my 1 rep max today. I'm not doing it. I have not been lifting heavy weight. I am not conditioned for it. I love that. Why do I love that? I love it for multiple reasons. First of all, he is proving right there, and this is a fact, guys, that your body, lifting heavy weight is a skill, okay? It's a skill. It's not something that is necessarily correlated. There are correlations, slight correlations, but it's not necessarily correlated with muscle mass, like mass itself, muscle size, okay? Many people think, oh, if you're very big muscularly, you lift very heavy. That's not the case. And one of the reasons why, and it could be the case, but it's not necessarily the case. One of the reasons why is you can get good at lifting heavy things. Your body learns to lift heavy things. It's a skill. Your motor units learn how to activate what they need to activate in order to move the weight. You can get very strong very fast, even if you're an older person. It is absolutely amazing. Muscle size takes years and years and years of essentially abuse to your muscles, because what is muscle size? It's like a buildup of, it's repair. It's like scar tissue. Your muscle is getting bigger because you are constantly pounding it, whether that be with heavy weight or lighter weight. Now, in order to progressive overload, you certainly do need at some point, or it would behoove you at some point, to add more weight. But it doesn't necessarily mean that your heavy weight is going to be as heavy as other people's. Someone might look at you and be like, how much do you lift? You must bench. I've been told you must be able to bench press a car. And I know it doesn't look like it today, but remember, pump, lighting, shirt. But you must be able to bench press a car. Absolutely freaking not, man. No, absolutely not. It's not true. You need to be conditioned in order to do it, okay? And if you stop training heavy for a while, your body ends up getting unconditioned. Can you get back? Sure, it's like riding a bike, but you have to taper up again. It'll be faster because your body will have that muscle memory and muscle activation and all that. But it's very important to understand that this guy did a very brave thing, in my opinion. He said, no, I'm not doing it. He's not putting himself at risk, and I appreciate that, especially at his age. Even if you're younger, don't ego lift, okay? A younger guy might have been like, hell yeah, I'm going to do my 1 rep max today and then tear a pec. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not conditioned. This gentleman is conditioned for what he referred to as reps or lighter weight. You can see he's very quick with the lighter weight. He's very good with the lighter weight. And so he is sticking to that, and I find that to be admirable. Now, a lot of people in the comments might also be saying, well, if he doesn't lift heavy weight, but he looks like that, that means he's on steroids. Not necessarily. I will go, in my opinion, and say not necessarily. Because I have never been somebody who's just like, I'm only going to lift heavy weight. No, I've never been like that. What Larry said is very important. It's better for longevity to not lift insanely, well, at least not to be doing your 1 rep max. That's not necessarily something that's going to prolong your life. Lifting heavier weight, sure, it's good for you, right? It's going to help you in certain regards. But abusing it and doing your 1 rep max all the time and going crazy heavy, that's going to be another story. So I appreciate what this gentleman said. I appreciate Larry's input as well. And I agree with what each of them said. But notice, Larry was initially fooled where he said, I believe if you did your 1 rep max, you would be doing this an amount, 300 whatever pounds or whatever. He automatically said no. And that's because he's not ready. He's not conditioned. So even Larry was fooled. And that's how people's brains work. They see muscle, they see form, and they think, oh, this guy can lift a house. It's not the case. That's not how it works. You cannot visibly look at somebody and think, I know they're going to lift this much. It can't happen.
Why bother dieting? Why bother at this point? You look like this at 62 with no diet. Why even bother? Guys, just give up dieting. Just give it up. Oh, okay. Good? Yeah. I get it. Hip. Good. Hip.
I got it.
You got it. Get it. Damn. No quitting this, man. Come on. Power. Hip. Get it. Hip. Damn. That was a grind.
So you can see how easily Larry went and belted away all those reps. I think that's like approximately 180 pounds or something like that. Larry was blowing them out of the sky, but this gentleman here, he had trouble since rep 1. You saw that he had trouble even lifting full range on this one. And that's totally fine. But you can see again back to the point of how he's not conditioned for strength. But if he trained to get better at strength in a couple of weeks, even at his age, in my opinion, he'd be able to knock this out of the park and be getting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 reps like Larry belted them out way faster and better than what he is currently doing. But hey, the guy did it. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to do it. Now, I couldn't tell if he said, I can do it or I can't do it. I couldn't tell. So it makes it hard for me, since I couldn't understand what he said, to say what I feel should have happened. But I do appreciate that the guy rested it on his chest. I do appreciate that Larry didn't help him, because I'm assuming the guy said, I can do it, meaning he doesn't need the help. Larry did say, I know you can do it, or something along those lines. So he let him do it. If Larry had to help him, he could have totally helped him, right? And he would have helped him. But I appreciate that Larry wasn't just automatically helping the guy without him asking for help, seemingly. And I appreciate how the guy didn't give up. That last rep killed this guy. You saw that, but he did it. For a second, I thought, Larry, put your hands on the bar. But no, he did it. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, another thing is, I believe that this gentleman here was it's hard to tell with the angles, but based on what Larry said before, I believe that this gentleman is pressing higher up to target this, I believe, which is going to put more strain on your shoulders. If your shoulders burn out too quick, you are not going to be able to go long for a long time when it comes to bench press. Your shoulders are imperative. So if you want to train longer, you want to try to take your shoulders out of it as much as possible. Now, this gentleman did, if I recall correctly, have his elbows more towards the inside of his body, kind of like pinned more against his body, which is great for your shoulders longevity when you're bench pressing. If you have your arms more flared out, you're going to last a much less time when it comes to longevity itself.
Yep. Damn. That was a grind. Sheesh. Good stuff. That was a grind. How many sets do you normally do like that?
That was the only set I had in me.
Then we moving on after that. We moving on.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just read. I can give this a try. First time try.
You gonna try this?
First time, yes.
Really?
Oh, man. So he said previously that this is the only set he's got in him. At least that's what I think he said. And now he's saying he's going to try the 4 plates aside. So now he's saying he's going to try this. I don't know that that's a good idea. But at the same time, I appreciate that he wants to do it because, hey, you're training with Larry Wheels. You might as well do it. But I don't know. Let's see, man. This is going to be kind of crazy.
What was the heaviest you've gone since you've been out of prison?
225.
Okay. I would say, then let's go 275 first.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. Yep. Get it. Take it. All right. Good effort. The last set definitely drained you.
Yeah, I took too long. I have a psychological problem. Like if you stand over me, I know I got help, and I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
So you just got to trust me. You know what I'm saying? And let me just go on my own. Right.
All right. If you die, you die.
That's very interesting what he just said. He said he has a psychological problem, and if he sees someone standing over him, he's going to automatically default to letting that person help him, which I can totally understand. That makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, you want to be standing over the person that you're spotting in case they cannot lift. And, you know, because the whole point of you being there is so that they can try a weight that perhaps they are not good at, they haven't tried before. In case they go to failure, you can help them pick it up because they want to go to failure, or if they get injured and the bar drops, for any reason why you have a spotter, you have to kind of be standing there. So I guess he's telling Larry to stand there and not do anything until like the last second, which makes sense because I've said it in past videos. Many times you'll see people spotting others and the spotter is doing the work prematurely. Now, I don't think Larry was doing the spotting work prematurely here. I think maybe this gentleman was like a little bit embarrassed, kind of. Maybe. I can't say for sure. But I think he was a little embarrassed that he's on camera, that, you know, and now he wants to kind of be like, yeah, Larry, you know, let me do it next time. You kind of took over. No problem. But it did not look like he was going anywhere. It's very interesting. This gentleman seems to move very slowly, but then very quickly sometimes. Like when he's doing his reps, very quick. But he moves very slow, very chill, very relaxed. Very interesting guy. Very interesting guy.
Inhale, go out the top. Inhale, go out the top. Inhale, quickly, right, perfect. Right. Come on with it. All right. Come on with it. I got it.
Yep, get it. All right.
So he proved me wrong. This guy just really needed the chance to do his own rep because he just lifted the same amount of weight. I forget what Larry said that was. Maybe it was like, I don't know. I forget what it was. But either way, he did the rep, which is phenomenal. And Larry is very shocked too. Take a look at Larry's face over here. So I guess it really is a psychological thing. Very interesting. This is an interesting character. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is this gentleman, I don't remember what Larry's doing, but this gentleman here is using what they refer to as a suicide grip, not locking your fingers around. I've had many people tell me that it's better for pressing. You'll get more power. But I've also seen the bar slip from many, many people's hands. In fact, Julian Fitzgerald was using a closed grip attempt when the bar fell on him. So just keep in mind, you might be seeing, hey, that looks like a pretty cool grip. It's cool, and I guess it's good for like wrist, for strength. It's good for comfort. It's just a little bit scary. Personally, I find it scary because you don't have a closed grip. That can make or break you if you make a mistake, if something happens. Even if you don't make a mistake, if it slips, it can break you. So something I recommend to people that's better on their joints, better on their shoulders in general, better on their elbows, better on their range of motion, better on their wrist, is using barbells. I know barbells don't look as cool. I know barbells aren't that fun, but I tell my clients, use barbells because you're going to get all those things, better range of motion, better comfort. You can rotate your wrists, things of that nature. You can get a better squeeze, because you're not locked in at a certain angle. You can bring them in, things of that nature. So I know for the video, they want to do bench press. It's more cool looking, but in practice, I find barbells to be much more efficient.
Now I felt that, and I think I go up on the 295 next.
Oh, you want to go up? All right.
Fresh and strong.
Let's get it.
Speed and power, just like you walked into the gym.
All right.
Fresh and strong, speed and power, just like you walked into the gym, and then you see Larry's face. I don't necessarily know that Larry was making a face at what he said, but I do find it, if I was a pro bodybuilder, pro strongman like Larry, I would find it to be very irritating if I had people less accomplished than me telling me how to do it, how to train, when I know how to train. If you don't know what you're doing, then I understand, hey, open your ears and listen. But Larry does know for a very large majority what he's doing. So I can only imagine, because everybody he trains with, not everybody, but a lot of people, even Julian Fitzgerald was doing it, where he was telling him how to train.
Try to get a little bit closer to the bar. There you go. And then chin up a little bit. Good. Good. That's what we're looking for right here. This little striation right here. Perfect. Try to keep your head up a little bit. Keep that chin up so you can keep your body straight. There you go. Try to get a little bit closer to the bar. There you go. Kind of lean back a little bit. Yep. Looking for a straight body. Right there.
All right.
And Larry was damn near to losing it when Julian was talking to him. But he's nowhere near to losing it with this gentleman here. You know, Julian's dad over here. Julian's pops over here. He's nowhere near losing it with him. But it's got to be irritating to be told, this is what to do. Maybe he's just trying to encourage Larry. I don't know. But I would be kind of annoyed having to hear it multiple times in a session when clearly I've demonstrated I know how to press, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. Whew, man, I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. Would that annoy you?
Go at the top. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
I got it.
All right, so we got similar techniques. I like that, how you pause there laughing and then explode on the end. So So when you're breathing out at the top, you want to do a quick short release as you anticipate completing the movement, 3/4 of the way to completion of the movement. Don't blow out before the end, you'll lose power and compression. So it's a quick release, right from the core.
You're not exhaling all of your oxygen, just a little bit.
A quick release, and come back with the vacuum, right?
And by vacuum, you mean inhale?
Inhale, right. When I say vacuum, it's a strong, powerful inhalation, right?
Understood.
Mostly through your mouth.
So first of all, what Larry did, where he paused at the bottom, just like this gentleman's over here, he pauses at the bottom as well. And then he commended him, like, hey, I like how you train. You got the similar style as me, where you hold it at the bottom and then push. Yeah, you're able to rest a little bit. You're regaining your muscle in that. You're doing essentially like kind of like a rest pause in a way, kind of. You still have tension on it, but to a degree. But that small amount of rest will allow you to keep going. So you rest at the bottom in order to get it back up to the top. Now, Larry was likely taking this very close to failure. I want to say very close, because he had to rest at the bottom in order to get it back up. Did he take it to full failure? Of course not. No, because we didn't see him struggling that much. It's hard when you use free weights to go to failure, because if you don't have a guy that's going to be able to help you, or a guy or a girl who's going to be able to help you get that bar back up, you're done for. So you have to have reps in reserve, basically, which sucks. I personally love using electronic gyms. You can take every single rep to failure every single time, and then you turn the weight on and off with your fingers. So you can start at your strongest position, the safest position, where in reality, if you're using regular weights, you can't do that. You have to start where you have to start. And then you can shut it off when you cannot rack it again. So all of a sudden you have weight, and then all of a sudden you don't. It's just incredible. Another thing I found interesting, which my brain for some reason can't really process right now, is the fact that this gentleman here said you breathe out a small amount. You don't breathe out all the air, small, like that. He said that you save, like, you have more, like, pressing power if you do that. I have to be honest, I don't know if that's true. Larry didn't say it was true or not. Larry obviously knows how to lift. Larry obviously lifts very, very heavy. He is a professional power lifter and bodybuilder, IFBB pro holder. So you'd think he knows how to breathe. When I first heard this guy breathe, I was thinking he's breathing kind of interesting. That's kind of weird. I've never really heard people breathe like that. If it works for him, it works for him. But I really haven't heard many others breathe like that. I would have to do some research on the breathing, because honestly, I don't necessarily think you have to breathe like that, or that it's necessary. And my brain is telling me that it's kind of not helping you, because the longer you hold air in your lungs, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that is carbon dioxide at a certain amount of time. So if you're holding the same air in you, eventually all that oxygen is going to be gone from from what's in your chest, and you're going to be left with not that much energy because you don't have oxygen. So I would think you want to breathe deeply. Now, there's a very big difference between what they're doing and what I'm doing. They're doing their reps very, very fast. I do my reps more slow, more controlled, especially on that eccentric portion. So the pushing itself is going to be different. So maybe depending on if you're pushing faster, the method that this gentleman is speaking about might be better. Or maybe maybe it might be better. I don't really know. But anyway, either way, something for me to think about and something for you guys to let me know about in the comments. I know you're going to have a scientist or a doctor or some kind of professional out there who can answer that question. All right, guys. So I ended up doing a little bit of research on this. You guys let me know in the comments if it's correct according to your own knowledge or research. Apparently, what Jim was doing or telling Larry to do is called the Valsalva maneuver. It's basically where a bodybuilder inhales deep, holds your breath, braces the core during the lift, and it's similar to this maneuver. It's not the same exact thing. But what Jim was doing short, quick bursts, releasing that air, bringing it back in, back and forth, very small amounts. Apparently, what this type of maneuver is used for is a 1 rep max type of maneuver during powerlifting, where essentially it allows you to control your abdominal pressure, and it allows you to kind of like, it essentially becomes like an internal inside weight belt, right? It allows you to control the pressure inside your stomach. Your abs are more strong, things of that nature. It can help stabilize your spine, stuff like that. So apparently it's not good for the training that these guys are doing, normal type of bodybuilding, even though they are, doing very quick reps. It's not good apparently, because holding in your breath for that long, not releasing it and getting new oxygen can make you a little bit dizzy. It can spike your blood pressure. It can cause you to become lightheaded and faint or whatever. It can cause you to get weak. It can cause you to not have optimal energy because you don't have oxygenated blood. So continuous controlled breathing is safer when you're doing normal bodybuilding, like what these guys are doing. But let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Beautiful. Come on with me. Yep. Get it. Finish it. All right. Beautiful. Damn. Sheesh. You ain't lose nothing. Still got it, man. Jesus. I'm not sure if from your angle you can see the striations in his chest, but this guy is conditioned. 62. Can you imagine at 62 years old looking like this, man? I can't.
So Larry mentions how conditioned he is. Not Larry, but this gentleman here. I really wish I remembered his name. Forgive me, guys. Jim. Larry mentions that this gentleman is so conditioned. That's another reason why he looks as jacked as he does. You can actually have very little muscle in comparison to what people think you have if you are very, very conditioned. That's why I tell people, if you don't have a lot of time to get jacked, just get conditioned. That's all you have to do. Just get conditioned. You will do very, very well. You will look phenomenal with very little bodybuilding and just conditioning. Now, Larry says he can't imagine looking like that at 62 years old. I have to be honest. I've seen some very jacked and ripped 62-year-olds. Never seen one who looks like this before. But very ripped I have seen, which is all diet. Essentially, maybe it's a little cardio, blah, blah, blah. But if you got your diet in check, you can and will be ripped without much outside influence like cardio and things like that. Just having an active lifestyle in general, moving around how you move around, and having your diet in check. It will go a long way. So you thinking that you can't at 62 look like this, it's not true. You can, and it's actually much easier than what you would think. In terms of being ripped, in terms of muscle mass, that's another story. This guy obviously is on another level, right? Where he's not the average person. Another thing I want to mention is, yeah, he moves very old. He moves like a very, very slowly. And I can't help but think that the bodybuilding has taken a toll on his body. Even though he is, I believe, historically using lighter reps, which is crazy. Now, there are drugs out there. I'm not saying he's on drugs. I'm not saying he's not on drugs. I'm just saying there are drugs out there that I believe cause a lot of like tendon and joint stress and strain. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not, some kind of like specialist, or I don't really know much about drugs, but I do believe that like things like, I believe it's Winstrol, will make your joints very dry and brittle. You can get hurt very easily. I would assume that if you were on that stuff, it would also cause you to move worse. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments if you ever taken that stuff. Would it cause you to move worse as well? I'm trying to figure out why this guy seems to have so much arthritis and trouble. It may be that he's just worked very hard throughout his life. It could be arthritis. It could be a whole bunch of things. So, obviously this is just speculation, but you guys let me know what you think in the comments.
God damn. Those abs are just ridiculous, man. What the hell? Jesus. Those have got to be the thickest abs. The thickest abs I've ever seen. Let's get it. Shit. I gotta snap for this. Oh, interesting. Okay. Damn. Yep. Good. Perfect.
What's interesting is as this gigantic, ripped behemoth of a 62-year-old is doing this movement, I forget what it's called, overhead raise, I don't remember what it's called. But as he's doing this movement, he's got excellent mobility. Excellent mobility. I mean, he moves real slow, but maybe he just moves slow. I mean, when it comes to his reps, the guy is very, very fast. But moving and even taking his shirt off looked like he was having a problem with that. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Also, I'm at the 1336 mark. I have the video paused. And you can see his fingers and his hands. They don't look normal. They don't look normal by any means. They look like the fingers are twisting. They look like they have arthritis. And they actually look very similar to what Coach Greg said once about Dr. Mike Israetel. So apparently it's called clubbing. I just looked it up. And clubbing, I can't tell if he really has it or not, but it seems like he does. And clubbing apparently happens when you have underlying symptoms, underlying health problems. Things like a heart issue or liver failure or a few different things that I just looked up here. It could also, have to do with his diet, perhaps. He said he eats anything and everything, right? Well, if that's true, he might look very good on the outside, but at the same time, his insides may not be doing too good. Also, he looks quite, like I said, old. He doesn't look like a 62-year-old to me. Honestly, whether you're white or black, he does not look like a 62-year-old. He looks more like an 80-year-old to me, like what an 80-year-old black person might look like, something along those lines. But again, everybody's different, right? You can't just say, hey, this is, this. But something that makes me wonder about his diet or his lifestyle or his health in general are those fingers. Something does seem to be a little bit strange.
Damn. Looking at your back, I mean, if I saw you from behind, there's no way I would think you're 62. It's just your skin. I don't see any signs of aging. It's not just your conditioning, but I'm trying to look for like, okay, he's 62 here, but I can't see it anywhere. Like your back is no pimples, no nothing. You got a photo from, which I want to show everybody, when you were my age, 30 years ago, a lifetime ago, and I kid you guys not, you could have been Mr. Olympia at that time. Like, you got the legs to match, which is crazy. I mean, I don't know how they're looking today, but in that photo 30 years ago, I was shocked. I'm like, is that Ronnie Coleman? No kidding. I'm like, is that Ronnie Coleman I'm looking at right now? It was crazy. Would you mind showing us on your phone what you showed me?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Stomach in tight. Tight grip. Inhale all the way back. Stretching and flexing. Strong back and pull. Inhale all the way back and pull. Inhale all the way back. Quick release to the top. Right. Speed, power, balance, time, coordination. Just so here. Quick release at the top. Pull. Strong back and pull. Right. Quick release at the top. Release at the top. Right. Hold that power compressor till you get to the top.
Okay.
All right, good.
All right. Is that you on the? Is that you?
Yeah.
At how old?
This was in 95. So I had to be like 34.
Oh my God, 34. This is Olympia material right here, man. Like this is.
No, I had to be like 33, 32, 33.
And you weren't dieting. You weren't on steroids.
I was on a diet on this one here.
Okay.
I dieted down to 195 on here. So I came from like 212 to 195. A crash diet.
Okay, how long was that diet?
I started my diet 1 week out. I backed off the food, the solid foods, the first 3 days. Then I did a liquid diet with fruits the next 2 days.
Okay.
Next 2-3 days. Then I went without water, just let the body dry it out. I just went on a crash diet.
1 week?
Yeah, 1 week. So I went from like 212 to like 195.
That's shocking. I mean,
I don't even know. You know what's crazy? Like, first of all, I want to address, while Larry's doing the movement, it's weird. He says a lot of stuff. Release at the top, release at the top. He's saying a whole bunch of stuff. That's just confusing and distracting to me. If I was Larry, I would lose my mind. Because, like, obviously Larry knows how to do the movement. The guy's just kind of rambling off what to do. I can't even tell what he's saying and what specifically he wants Larry to do, and if Larry's doing it. He's saying release at the top, and it made it seem like he wants I can't lift my arms, but the barbell to like drop back behind his head. You never want that to happen, but I'm assuming that's not what he wanted. But now let's move on to that photo. My God, bro. He dieted down from, what was it, 212 to 195, I think he said. Yo, the guy had striations across his abs. You saw you saw every muscle in the guy's body. It's just insane. How do you look like that, bro? I mean, good for him. Absolutely amazing. Larry said, so you weren't on steroids or nothing like that. He didn't address it directly. He kind of just jumped past it, if I remember correctly. Just kind of glazed over it. But it could be because he was just in conversation mode and just moving forward, not really paying attention, kind of excited about the conversation. But let me tell you, man, whether the guy's on drugs or not, he looks absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm telling you, Julian's pops, man, just wild.
It's just unbelievable. And that is like with no coach at the time? That was just self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught. Yeah. No coach.
Wow. Unreal. Oh, I don't want to slow down the pace, so.
So, you ready to go to the
100?
Yeah.
Yeah, we go. That was pretty light.
Huh?
Yeah, we can get 100. What the? Let's get it. Let's get it. Good. Hip. Get it. Hip. Yep. Good. Yep. Grind time. Yep. Yes. 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 Good. Wow. I lost track. I don't know how many reps. God damn. Wow. Good. Sheesh. Unreal. All right.
So I'm watching the way this gentleman's moving outside of doing his reps. And I just wanted to ask you guys a question. What would you prefer? Would you prefer to be able to have full mobility like he clearly kind of doesn't have? Something is a little off. Or be able to look like him? I would rather have full mobility, 100%. But it's a tough toss-up because the guy is a head turner. Phenomenal shape. Just incredible.
Don't make cool. Don't make cool. Don't make cool. Don't make cool. Quick when you sit at the top.
This grandpa's really strong.
Don't make cool. Just sit at the top. Don't make cool.
All right.
Good.
I don't trust myself for another rep. Okay. Okay. I want to get his opinion as he's seen hundreds, not thousands, of bodybuilders on. If you were to step on stage at your age, how you would do?
So wait, listen. How old are you?
62.
62?
Yeah, I'll be 63 October.
Holy shit, do a front double bicep. Let's see this front double. 62 years old, never competed.
I did amateur.
When you were young?
I did amateur.
When you were young?
In prison. On amateur show. Yeah.
See the back. Do back double bicep.
That's one thick back, man.
All right, well I got some constructive criticism for me. You make me want to stop lifting, man. Yeah. At 62 years old, this is phenomenal. I tell you right now, you step on stage, go to Masters Nationals, go to any one of those shows, you're gonna come home with the overall, not only the pro card.
Right.
That's one of the most impressive physiques I've seen for 62 years old.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
It's nuts, man. You see
This guy and myself, I'm sitting here just shaking my head at the screen, not believing what I'm seeing when he flexed his back. His biceps were crazy too. I mean, they were it's interesting. The bicep muscles seem kind of small, but they were like they popped and they were cut. You know, the bicep has two heads. You could visibly see the separation, even though they were kind of like small. If you look at his bicep right here, you can see here, it's actually relatively small looking, very interestingly enough. But he's just cut. He is ripped up. I'm not saying he has small biceps necessarily, but it's a small head, a very small head genetically. I believe it looks like a very small head. So, and it appears like he has a lot of separation between the bicep and the actual forearm. So when he goes ahead and does his front double bicep, you see a large separation, a large gap between the muscle and the elbow, essentially. Yeah, huge gap. You can really see it over at 19 minutes and 6 seconds. His biceps are very interesting. Very interesting, but they don't look that big. He's just so freaking cut. Anyway, another thing that he mentioned is if he walked into a show now, he would come home with the overall. I absolutely believe it. There's no doubt that this guy would win, especially if he dieted for like 3 days. Absolutely be winning his competition. Just phenomenal, amazing physique. And he says that this guy here that Larry's talking to, he says, this makes me, seeing you, makes me want to stop lifting. Yeah, I get it. Because the guy looks just incredible. And then he says, at 62 years old, this is phenomenal. I know he didn't mean that in a bad way, but I want to say that could make it sound like, oh, for 62, you look pretty good. No. The guy has a body of a 30-year-old, a 25-year-old. And again, the weird thing is his face is so much older looking. Crazy, man.
Go to any one of those shows, you're going to come home with the overall, not only the pro card.
Right.
That's one of the most impressive physiques I've seen for 62 years old.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
It's nuts, man. You might have Larry beating the peak.
I think he does. And the abs, that's for damn sure.
Look at the peak right there. 2 small nuggets. The peak is insane.
I got torn biceps too, just like you.
That's what it is. Larry just said, that's what it is. When I was looking at him do the front double bicep, I was like, his bicep looks like it was torn, but it's hard to tell. You know what I mean? The guy's like kind of grainy looking in a way. He's got the veins everywhere, so it's kind of distracting and the lighting. But I was thinking the guy looks like he has a torn bicep. And so he does have a torn bicep. And Larry just said, I got a torn bicep just like you. That's why it's looking kind of weird. There you go. That makes a lot of sense. I'm an idiot. I should have just said it because then y'all would have seen that I knew what I was talking about. But it is what it is.
Let's do a comparison.
You got a double bicep too.
Let's throw it up for a little comparison.
Hit the side by side.
Yeah, just like that.
This way?
Yeah, turn. Yeah.
You sure you didn't have a son named Larry?
Now we're gonna hit deadlifts, right?
Yes, yes.
So to warm up, do you do any stretching or do you just get right into the weights?
I might do a toe touch or two. I usually stretch in the form of the exercise I'm getting ready to do, right? Keeping the weight on your heels, tension on the hamstring, right? You're gonna do it, let your hips slide backwards. I do the stiff leg deadlift. I don't know if you're doing deadlift, whatever. But anyway, you're gonna let your hips slide backwards, right? And strong vacuum on the way down. Explode with heels and glutes and shoulders all at the same time. Quick release at the top.
Okay.
Strong vacuum pull. Up and down like the sewing machine, just like you do.
It's so funny. Larry asks, are you going to warm up first? And then he just starts talking about how he's going to do the movement and how you're supposed to do the movement. This guy is zealous, man.
That's right.
To pull today, I got the all-new PR Ratchet belt.
That's
nearly
right.
3 years in development. Got a quick release on it.
Nice belt.
Top green leather, thank you, sir.
Right.
Comes pre-broken in,
Right.
and it just slides in place.
Yo, this guy is adorable, man. Larry's over here trying to do the spiel about the belt, how they built this belt and his great ratchets in place. And the guy's over there, that's a cool belt, interrupting Larry. Larry's like, all right, shut up. You see this guy, man? He's like, all right, yeah, shut up, Pops. It's hilarious. You can see on Larry's face, he's totally annoyed. Like, bro, don't you see I'm recording here? I'm doing a commercial. But the guy's so cute. He's just standing there like, right, yep, right. Like, this guy's kind of adorable, bro. I mean, he's like a really non-cuddly little teddy bear or something.
Development, got a quick release on it.
Nice belt.
Top green leather, thank you, sir.
Right.
Comes pre-broken in,
Right.
and it just slides in place like that. You can ratchet it to get it just right. So whether you're bulking or cutting, weights fluctuating from day to day, it'll feel just right no matter what.
All right. So when I wear these belts, these powerlifting belts, right? I like to put them on my strong abdominal muscles, which are the upper abdominal muscles. All right. This is a powerlifting belt.
Yes.
It's not a dress belt for down low.
Yeah.
So you want all the power and compression is right here. So the higher you put the belt, right, the more power it gives you. So you want to put it up high right here on the upper abdominal muscles.
So you know, when I try putting it high up, like here.
I know it's uncomfortable, and sometimes maybe you feel like it's gonna break your rib cage. But that's where you need the support at. When you're doing heavy deadlifts.
I've experimented with having it a little bit higher, you're saying?
No, not right here. Right here is perfect. Right here is perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Right here is perfect. You don't need to go no higher than that. That's perfect.
Okay.
Right. That's where all the power is at.
It's been a long time I've used it this high up. I'll give it a try for a set.
Right. That's the power control center right there. Right there.
Let me give it a try for one set. It's been a long time I've tried it this high.
Sometimes when you condition doing certain things, you got to go with the most effective way. You always take what I say into consideration, right? According to how you feel,
right?
What makes you stronger psychologically and physically, right? Because that's the most important thing. If it's going to take away from your psychological energy, you're not going to be able to perform.
Exactly.
So you got to be comfortable with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? All I can do is give you advice, because you can't just change horses in the middle of the race. When you do, you're going to be less stronger.
Absolutely. What you just said is great advice, because in the past, I had developed conditioning with having the belt lower, as I've been using for all my records,
Yo, Larry is so funny. He's trying to tell this dude, yeah, so as I used to do, over the years, I've built up my place of wearing the belt that I used during my world record.
As I've been using for all my records.
Yo, this dude is so funny, just tossing that in there like, hey, bro, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to put it higher. I like it lower. I have world records. He's got to remind this guy. Now, I do appreciate that this gentleman is over here telling him, hey, you should have it higher, this reason, that reason. I get it. But I also appreciate the nuance, because Larry clearly does not want to put it up there. But this gentleman's saying, look, just take it into consideration. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you what I think is the best. And I love that, because, hey, why should we not be listening to one another? Why should we be not trying to help one another? If what he's saying is true, as far as that's where your power's coming from, and you want the belt to be there to brace against where the power's coming from, and that happens to be your top abs, well, that sounds like a great idea. Now, for me, I feel like that's kind of high, but last I checked, there's no real place where I think you can kind of put it wherever you want. Let me know if you guys know in the comments. I mean, I'm not a power lifter. So, but I do believe you could wear it higher. You could wear it lower. As far as breathing, I think that would be a real pain to breathe in with it so high. And I feel like it would be very uncomfortable. So I don't know. Larry clearly finds it to be useful lower. So as they discussed, like men, in a very relaxed manner, except for the part where Larry's like, I got world records. But as they discussed, yeah, it's best for you to do what you're comfortable with. And sure, maybe experiment once in a while with some other stuff.
Developed conditioning with having the belt lower, as I've been using for all my records. And whenever I've tried to mimic another lifter, like Eric Lillibridge, for example, that wears it really high, it never felt comfortable.
And it can take away from you.
I didn't have that confidence that I built from years of using it lower. Right. So whenever I would move it up, it doesn't feel right.
Right, you're not going to be able to perform.
Exactly.
Under that pressure, you got to be conditioned for the pressure. Stomach in tight. Hip thrust. You're using leg, hip thrust. Right. From the bottom, hip thrust. Right, from the bottom. Inhale, exhale, hip thrust, heels and glutes. Pulling back towards the wall.
Larry looks pissed right now. I could be wrong. Maybe he's not pissed, but he looks annoyed. He's like, all right, because he's over here trying to perform. He's wearing the belt in a way he doesn't want to wear it. And now you got this guy talking throughout the entire movement. Basically, he wouldn't be talking if he was doing it right in in his opinion. So he's basically, in my opinion, saying that Larry's doing it wrong. Don't forget to thrust your hips, this and that, and all that stuff. So Larry's, oh man, Why do people tell Larry how to lift? I tell Larry how to lift over the camera. I'm like, hey, Larry, you should be doing this better, that better, whatever. But at the same time, like in person, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's nice. It is good that he's telling him how to lift. But while he's doing it, I don't know. I would wait till he's done. So I don't know, man. I think there's a time and a place. I would let Larry perform the sets the way he wants to perform them. And then afterwards be like, hey, do you find it better if you did this maybe, that maybe, something along those lines. While the guy's trying to perform, he's on camera, he's trying to get there, mentally and whatever, I wouldn't be interrupting the guy.
Right, perfect. Right, one motion, right. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. And another cool thing about this belt, besides it being pre-broken in, is when you're done with it, most belts need tension. You can keep it like this, locked in place with no tension. Yep, damn. That's that. Yep. Good.
So what I noticed was Larry was initially not doing the hip thrust, right? But then when this guy was doing his, he wasn't pulling back. Like in the beginning, he said, hey, we're going to do it like this. We're going to bring the weight up, bring it back, stiff back. He's arching his back, not even bringing it fully up. So Larry's actually cheering him on. Like, hey, yeah, keep doing it. You're doing a good job. Meanwhile, his form is off too. So, in order to try to make sure your form is right, he honestly seems like he rushes through these movements. And therefore, Larry as well is kind of rushing through these movements today just because they're going at a very quick, fast pace. I think the best thing would be to take 2 seconds and think about what you're doing, why you're doing it, slow down, maybe stand in front of a mirror, ask for people's advice. Did you think that was good? Blah, 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 blah. After you're done with your set, so you're not being interrupted mid-set and things of that nature. But yeah, so you can see this guy seems to know, for the most part, what he's saying. But at the same time, you can see his performance, his actual performance, is a little off as well. So nobody's perfect. It doesn't really matter, right? They're over here lifting 2 plates. What? It's like hardly anything. But yeah, just figured I'd mention that.
What's been, not today, but in your life, your 1 rep max on deadlift? You said it was 405 on bench. What's it like?
Max I did on deadlift was 650.
650?
Yes.
Man, if you had access to top quality steroids back in your prime, you would be Mr. Olympia. You'd be a world record breaking powerlifter. You'd be the top of your game. No one can come close, man.
And that was at 202.
At 202?
Yes.
So you had a natural over triple bodyweight deadlift. It's very elite. Right. For even guys that are enhanced.
Right.
So my hat's off to you, man. And I'm imagining you did that with this condition.
Yes.
Man, if you had social media back then, forget about it.
Right.
We'd all be in trouble.
Purposely, intentionally.
I don't know, man. I mean, I want to believe the guy's natural. I really want to, but I'm having a very hard time believing that. Everybody's genetics are different. The guy's held that look for 30 years. That makes me believe it's very possible that he might be natural. Because you're looking at him now, and 30 years ago, he looked the same. So it leads me to believe that, I mean, has he been on the sauce for 30 years, more than 30 years? Because that old picture, he had to build up to that. So more than 30 years being on the sauce? I don't know. I want to believe that the guy is natural. It's very hard to. You guys who take drugs, let us know. What are your thoughts on this? Please tell us.
Because I always like to see what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? And try my best to imitate the hell out of you.
You're imitating me. Yeah. All right.
Fresh and strong, just like you walked in the gym.
Yes, sir.
Hip thrust. Right. Perfect. Hip thrust. Hip thrust. Hip thrust. Right.
Hip. Right time. Good. Wow. What?
You can see through this man's pants his quad muscles. You can see them through the pants. There's no words, man. There's no words.
You know, you're inspiring me right now because I've been telling myself the last couple of years, I gotta wrap up powerlifting. I don't want to be crippled and in pain the rest of my life if something major happens that I can't fully recover from testing my winter arms in the sport. And I see you at 62, explosively lifting 225, 295 on the bench. And I'm sure from what I saw just now, you could probably hit, if you tried, at least 405 here.
Yeah.
Maybe even more. That was effortless.
Right.
And it looks like you have a bicep tear, but beyond that,
Right.
have you had any other injuries throughout your career?
I did the bicep tear, horse playing, 3-man wrestling, you know what I'm saying? I was holding 2 guys and then a third guy came and tried to, knock us apart. I tried to hold on and I failed to pop. At the time I wasn't working out. So I tried to use that extra strength that I had and the muscle wasn't ready for it. So when I tried to hold them and they snatched it apart and I tried to resist it, it just popped. So I heard the tear, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I had to keep on faking it to make it.
So besides the bicep tear, no other injuries?
I had a lot of back injuries, right?
Okay.
Because at the time I didn't know how to lift, so someone showed me the technique.
Right.
I had motorcycle accidents in my knee. No, it's the left knee right here. But I tore the ligaments and tendons and stuff like that. It was repaired and then I popped it again trying to lift heavy too soon, too fast. I had neck injuries. I had a gunshot right here, gunshot wound between the second and third vertebrae.
Yeah.
All right, so now this guy's going into all the injuries. He had a gunshot wound in up near his neck. The guy was in a motorcycle accident and all this stuff. He got the bicep tear, not even from training. He got it from horsing around with a couple of guys. Now it makes sense why he's moving like that. Doesn't necessarily have to do with the training, even though he said he got hurt, untraining related, and then started bodybuilding too soon after, in the middle of recovering. So that kind of, but the training wasn't what did it in the first place. But actually, no, he did mention there was, before I knew how to lift properly, I was screwing my back up. That's something I've seen before. My buddy Mike over at work, back when I used to work over in New York, all of a sudden I didn't see Mike. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's been a couple of months. Where the hell's Mike been? So find out the guy, he was very skinny, very strong. He was lifting a car. Yes, lifting a car because he was able to do it. And he ended up getting a pop in his back. And all of a sudden he was out of commission. And he told me the last time I saw him, Joe, I'm never lifting anything else in my life. I wish I could go back in time. So that shows you a couple things. 1, don't screw around. Number 2, don't ego lift. Number 3, you don't have to be muscular to be strong. Because the dude was a twig lifting cars.
I wound between the second and third vertebrae.
Yeah.
Hollow point 38. I was temporarily paralyzed. Came up out of it. I just always felt like when I was young, I say, if I ever have a serious injury, I don't want to be crippled for the rest of my life. So I always watched this movie called The $6 Million Man. We could rebuild him even stronger, faster, and tougher. So that's how I always felt. Injury, don't let it stay lingering, you know what I'm saying? build yourself back up. You know, I've seen a lot of guys doing deadlifts. As soon as they injure their back, they stop because now they're afraid of it. You know, side of the nerve. You can build that. You can build that back up. All you got to do is keep that core in tight, no matter what you do. It'll start strengthening that core back up. You don't want to leave yourself in a handicapped position.
That's actually great advice. What I tell every up-and-coming powerlifter is how important it is to breathe and brace into your belt to protect your core.
Right.
Just by simply adding a belt, breathing into your diaphragm, as you mentioned throughout the workout today, and bracing, that intra-abdominal pressure will allow you to lift literally on squat and deadlift 10% or more.
Exactly.
And it also doubles as protection for your back.
Exactly. Protect your back all the time.
And you could do the breathe and brace without a belt. Right. It's just more effective when you have something to push up against.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's more for like heavier deadlifting, you know what I'm saying? Heavy powerlifting exercise.
Yes, like you don't necessarily need a belt on a bench or a bicep curl.
You rather have it for safety than not to have it and have an injury.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't have that experience in doing controlled breathing with your core.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because either when you have that controlled breathing with your core, either you could do the exercise or you can't do it. You ain't got to worry about tearing up nothing. You ain't got to worry about busting the vessels in your eyes, you know, because the breathing, you can't hold your breath too long. You got to get the muscle oxygen in order for them to perform. Otherwise, you're going to suffocate them and you're going to go into a cardiac arrest at the end of the set, and it's going to affect your next set. You see what I'm saying? You want to always control that breathing, keep your heart rate controlled, right? Keeping your composure, fresh and strong every set, all right? It's always important to, you know, that controlled breathing allow you to keep on enduring. Like I seen you can just keep on going till you ready to stop.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Your breathing ain't got to be the one to stop you. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't get those muscles oxygen, they're going to shut down. Inhale, 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 perfect. Inhale, inhale, inhale.
Okay. How many reps do you do when you're warming up?
When I warm up, if I'm warming up for a specific weight, you know, you drop the reps as you're going up. You see what I'm saying? You just want to feel the weight so that your muscles don't have no negative reflex, you know, impact, you know, and do a contraction when you overload the muscles and they're not ready, prepared to do something. That's how a lot of people tear and injure themselves, tear muscles. Right. They might tear bicep, pec, lat, whatever shoulder muscle, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why it's good to make a progressive increase as you're loading up for the heavy weight.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You don't want to do too many reps and burn the muscles out, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you're training for competition, especially in the powerlifting meet.
Understood.
This guy just rattles off with information. Larry asked him, how many reps do you do warming up? This dude gives you everything. He talks real fast, so it could be kind of confusing. And then the way he talks is kind of like, you know, kind of the words kind of flow into one another. So it's a little bit, it may seem like he doesn't really know what he's talking about in a way, but a lot of the stuff he says seems to make sense to me, where he basically broke down in an interesting way how to warm up. You know, it's the way he speaks is interesting, but my brain can kind of make sense of it. He's essentially giving you great advice as far as warm-ups. You want to feel the weight. You want to make sure you're ready for the weight. You want to make sure that you're not warming up too much, because if you warm up too much, you're going to burn your muscles out on the warm-up. I've actually had clients where I said, you know, they said, yeah, you know, I get tired so fast, blah, 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 blah. I can't do my working sets. Show me what you're doing. Okay, they show me. They're actually doing too much for the warm-up. They're burning themselves out on the warm-up. All you're trying to do is feel the weight out, get the blood into the muscles, do a few different sets, and then move forward. So this guy's given some great advice. I wouldn't say all of it's great, mostly because I can't really understand a lot of what he's trying to say. But I have to say something. He seems, if I understood what he was saying more, it seems, because he doesn't sound like he's talking nonsense. I just think I'm having trouble exactly understanding some of the ways he's explaining things. But with someone who has a lot of information like this, I would venture to say that he actually knows what he's talking about. And when someone knows what they're talking about, it's more likely to me that they might actually be natural if they're saying they're natural. Okay? It's very, in my opinion, unlikely when you have people like, for example, Julian Fitzgerald, who looks the way he looks. He does do a lot of talking, but what he's saying don't make sense. So, is it possible? So that leads me to believe that he's less likely to be natural. Is it possible that he could still be that you could have a natural person who talks and doesn't know what they're talking about, but they just look great because they're genetics, and so they think what they're saying makes sense? Of course it is. But I think you guys know what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, light. Light. What? Hip. Wow. Too easy. It looks like you're doing more like a stiff leg deadlift.
Yeah.
So you're hardly even using your quads.
Right.
Oh, is that purposely or?
Yeah. I just do stiff leg deadlifts.
So do you have stiff legs for you?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Man. I mean, I don't want to put numbers out there, but I would say at least 500 pound capable, minimum.
Larry was over there lifting probably close to 400 pounds. And I just want to say the guy did it effortlessly. I'm so glad he wasn't interrupted by being told how to do the rep. Very likely because this guy here sees how much weight it is, and maybe he's wondering if he can do it. Maybe not. Maybe he's going to surprise the hell out of me because I haven't seen him lift this yet. But 4 plates aside, 44 pounds each. What was that, like 375, 350, 400? I don't even know. But he's preparing to do it himself now. He's real slow, getting into position. He reminds me of a sloth, to be honest. He's so slow. But then all of a sudden, he's like, boom, 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 boom. It's amazing, actually. But it is so admirable and also crazy that this guy has been in a motorcycle accident. He's had all these injuries, and he's still training heavy and hard. It is just incredible. Good for him. Good for him. Inspirational. That's what it is, man. He has a bent leg because of the injuries he has received, likely from that motorcycle accident. And he's over here lifting heavy and hard. Bro, just crazy, man. Good for him.
Power. Yeah. Good. Light. Yep. Get it. Yep. Good. Hell yeah. Fresh and strong. Big Mac activity.
Let's go another plate.
Another plate? What? Are we about to see a 62-year-old deadlift 500 pounds? That is wild. It is.
Fresh and strong, fresh and strong. That's right, sir. Speed and power, strong back and forward. Heels and glutes. Come on with fresh and strong. Let's go.
It's so funny because you can see his age, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you can see his age. You know how older people kind of repeat themselves a lot? Fresh and strong, just like you just walked into the gym. Hips and glutes, he's going at it with the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Which could be annoying. I've been around a lot of older people who do that. I had a partner at work once where he would just say the same jokes over and over, day in, day out. I worked with that guy for like 7 or 8 years. And I mean, he was known for like no one staying with him for longer than like a year or two, you know, known for it. By the 6-month mark, the guy he was with was like, I want off the truck. I don't want to work with this guy. And it's annoying because he's just like saying the same things over and over and over. But at the same time, the guy is very respectful. The guy seems to be very knowledgeable. And so I get, you know, you got to have a give and take. Larry's patience here, I think in the beginning, Larry was annoyed, right? I feel like in the beginning, he showed annoyance. But I think as he spent more time with this guy, he started to realize, wait a minute, he's not really telling me what to do exactly. This is just his personality. And once you realize it's just the personality, you can kind of be more at ease. Like, all right, man, yeah, you know, I got you. Yeah, hips and glutes, hips and glutes. Because whether it's you or anybody else, whether it's today, tomorrow, or next month, he's going to be saying it. You know what I mean? So I feel like that goes a long way. The guy seems, excuse me, I need some water. The guy seems like a real sweetheart guy. And this is great. This is really a lot of fun. I love hanging out with these two.
Make it look easy. Make it look easy. Doing my best to stay in one piece. It's been a few months. No deadlifts. But you got me inspired to do them again, man. Internet breaking activity now. We're above and beyond big back activity. This is internet breaking activity. Is there a record for a 60-something-year-old with deadlift? Because this might be it. This might be it right here. Ooh.
So you got this guy over here praying over the weights. Not really. He's just stretching, getting into position. But I figured I'd just pause it and say, if anyone was going to be on steroids, it probably should be this guy. If he is on them. If he is. Now, should he say he's natural if he's not natural? No. Obviously, he shouldn't. But if he is on them, I see why. The dude's been through so much freaking injury that he could have even been prescribed steroids. Like, for example, with injuries, Anavar, right? Very sought after medication for people who are going through injuries. So I'm not saying he is or not. I have to be honest. With the way he's moving and acting and speaking, and I feel like this guy is just like good. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's so ripped. I don't recall what his weight is. That would help me to kind of get an idea of what I think. But I feel like he's probably relatively light. And I feel like he might look way bigger than what he is because he's so ripped. But I could be wrong. Who the hell knows, man? This world's crazy.
This guy is about to go Super Saiyan right now. Let's see it. Super Jive. Let's get it.
Another thing that makes him look, I think, bigger than what he is the fact that his abs, his stomach, kind of hangs out. Kind of got like a Julian thing going on. Where Julian looks, everybody says, oh, he's got an HGH gut, right? Now, do I think this guy's on HGH? I don't. And I feel like there's something, I feel like he might have had a surgery there because the way his stomach is sitting, and you can see at 25-35, the way his stomach is sitting looks like it was kind of cut open into or something. I don't know. Very interesting. But let me tell you something. This guy's gotten beat up over his lifetime. So you know what? The fact that his face looks older, you know, stress shows on your face. The life you live sometimes can show on your face. Just like you guys told me, I didn't know that Shizzy used to be into male prostitution. I didn't know that. But I said during watching one of his videos, one of the commentary videos I was doing when he was working at Diamond Gym, I said, this guy looks like he's had a hard life and you can see it on his face. Then you guys told me in the comments his history. So you could see. So I feel like this guy's been through a lot. I feel like this is very admirable. The fact that he's still doing what he's doing despite the issues that he's had to deal with. I mean, bro, even if this guy's on drugs, I can't even say nothing about it. The guy was shot. The guy was ripped up during a motorcycle accident. And that's just 2 of the injuries that he's been through.
Yeah. Big back activity. Let's get it. Come on. Yep. Big power. Come on, get him. Yep. Keep my mind right here. All right. Yep. Can you do a chalk on if you have it yet? Do you have any chalk on? When you get down there, it's time to pull, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, let's get it. You know what to do. Yep. See it. Big power, come on. Oh! Yeah! Yes! Finish it!
I love that he stopped. He's over here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plates aside. They said it's his second attempt on the screen, and he stopped. Larry yelled, "Finish it." He stopped. Then Larry said, good job, you know, which is exactly what you should tell somebody when they can't do a lift. You shouldn't be putting them down, treating them like crap. No, you want them to stop, because if they don't stop and they get hurt, you are going to regret that lift for the rest of your life. Know your limitations, guys. Not a problem lifting heavy, not a problem going hard. Just know your limitations. Feel your body. This guy does seem like he's pretty in tune with his body, especially with all the injuries that he's been through. I mean, you have to be. You know what I mean? You have to know what you can do and not do. And so, good for him for stopping. I don't know if he's going to keep going. I paused the video, but good for him for stopping in the first place when he knew he couldn't do it, even though he had Larry yelling, "Finish it."
What's going on?
You just think about when we're going wrong.
All right. Get it, Jim. Yep. Come on, Jim. Yeah. Yep.
Can't do it.
It's all good.
Good work.
All good. Still in one piece. What matters? Still jacked.
Couldn't do it on the third attempt. But the fact that this guy doesn't even train for strength, he's not conditioned for strength, he was able to lift it up that much and still can walk away. Do you have any idea how strong this guy is? If he trained for strength, even at his age, he would be insane. Insane. This guy, very strong up here, man. He walked off. It's like he had to think about it for a minute. I could be wrong, and I am totally not trying to be rude here, okay? It seems to me like he has maybe a bit of autism. And I'm not trying to be rude, and I hope you guys know me enough to know that I'm not trying to be rude. But the way he's slow, controlled, thinks, then all of a sudden speaks very fast, had to go off to think. I have a good friend who has a similar condition. Very slow, very controlled. All of a sudden, brrr, if he has to think, he has to walk away. So either way, regardless of whether it's true or not, the guy is very methodical, it seems, and very powerful with his mind. And you can see that because even though he said while Larry was spotting him, when he said, I have a problem with my mind where if you're there, I'm going to, not do as well. He knows. And so he knows how to overcome it. See, so even though it's a weakness, he's still very powerful in his weakness. He understands himself, which is more than most people do. So, the guy is very impressive. We're not even finished yet. We're almost finished. But this has been such an enjoyable video. And this guy is so mellow and chill. I'm just having such a great time being with you guys. Thank you for recommending this video to me.
Yeah, I mean, when did you last pull 500 pounds?
I haven't.
Wow.
I haven't.
I mean, what you're capable of still at your age is just unbelievable. If you
I could do it, fresh. But, I kind of like burn a lot of energy.
yeah, normally in powerlifting, you would start with the most difficult exercise first. In bodybuilding, it's usually the opposite way around.
Yeah.
So I would always hit my squat, bench, deadlift before anything else. That was always a top priority.
Your body's the money.
That's
If
true.
Your body is not functioning. Ain't no money.
All right, Jim. Last attempt right Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Speed of
Yeah. What?
Come on, let's go.
Get it, Jim. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There it is.
Damn.
It took him 4 tries, and he did it. What the hell is this guy made of? That is unbelievable. Those first tries, if he could have did it, he would have did it. Now, he just got finished saying, the reason I can't do it is because I'm a little tired and it takes a lot out of you. Sure, it sure as hell does. You just did all this other training. You know what I mean? He's not fresh. He's not feeling, he's not fresh. But what the hell did I just see? This guy just mentally willed himself into doing it. That's what he did. And you know what's crazy? I feel like he said he's never done this before with this much weight. He said he's never done this before. So honestly, the first few attempts, this is what I'm talking about when I say your body gets good at lifting heavy weight. The first few attempts were him understanding it. He had to feel it out a little bit. It's not territory he's ever been in before. He tried it. Now, all of a sudden, your brain knows, wait a minute, okay, I was weak over here. I have to do this. I have to stand this way. This is extremely heavy weight. Second time, you get more information. Your body is listening to it. Your motor units are responding. And you're thinking, this is what I have to do in order to do it better. This is a skill. You can't will yourself and learn yourself into larger muscles size. This, however, is an art. It takes technique. You can learn technique. And so those first 3 attempts were him learning the technique. This guy is pretty miraculous. I have to be honest. I'm very impressed with this guy. You guys let me know what you think in the comments.
Man, do his work. I should have shut the hell up. He had him all along. Good job, Jim. Shit. I feel
Can't go home without
something. I feel bad for saying something.
Can't go home.
The man was just trying to eat. I was trying to starve the man.
Thank you.
Damn. After that, we can call it. That's it. He's done. He doesn't get better than that. Guys, 62, 500 pounds. This man doesn't even deadlift anymore. But he just worked out 500. So now when you say he did 650 in prison, I have no doubt.
Okay. So maybe I misunderstood. He just said that Jim, if I understood correctly, his name was Jim. His name is Jim. And when he said he did 650 in prison. Okay, so he's done it before, but it doesn't matter because the point is, I think he said he hadn't done it since he got out of prison. So the guy, it doesn't matter. The guy is brand new to this, basically. So yes, he had to kind of relearn a little bit of what was going on. But Larry is so impressed too. And it's hard not to be because this guy just woke up one day, today, for the day they're making this video, just woke up and just he's just like, he's not conditioned for this stuff. He's not conditioned. Very impressive.
This is your age with no preparation, you understand? That's unbelievable. Well, we're the real life superhero today. Superman.
Only because of you. Only because of you. You bring the best out of me. I knew you were going to do something for me today.
Oh, happy to,
I knew you were going to do something for me today.
Hey, you do something for me big time. You inspire me, man, because when I think about myself in my 60s, I don't ever imagine, until now, that I'll be capable of what you're doing right now. So that's big. Right. I think when I'm at 60, like, you know, maybe a little overweight, lazy, weak. I don't think of myself like how you are right here today. So you're very, very inspiring.
You're very inspiring too. It's huge you just done for me. Yes.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was good, and that's rare, guys, because usually after multiple failed attempts or 1 RM, you just get weaker and weaker and weaker every set. It's not the other way around.
Exactly. Larry just said it. After multiple failed attempts of your 1 rep max, you just get weaker. This guy got stronger because of this. When Jeff Nippard said in a video that I covered the other day where he slashed his workout in half and now he's gaining all this much more muscle and all this crap. We just did a video on it. You guys could check it out if you didn't see it. He says at one point in the video that now that he cut his workout in half, he can do so much more because he used to dread doing more sets.
It's so insane how much better you lock in when you only have 2 sets to do. If I knew I had like 4 sets on that, I would be dragging my feet 100%. The fact that I know I've only got 2, bro, I lock in and go crazy. Yeah.
Now, I understand that. No qualms there, right? But he said that he would have dragged his feet knowing if he had 6 sets to do or something like that. That tells me, and I mentioned it in the video, that tells me, Jeff, that Jeff typically loses before he walks in the gym. When you hear people tell you to train hard, many people think they're training hard, number one. And number two, many people defeat themselves. So you might defeat yourself thinking, yeah, I trained real hard. And so you defeated yourself because you didn't train hard, right? This is what training hard is. Jeff has been wasting years of his life, literally, doing nothing in the gym. Guy's physique is great. Can't argue that. But he's literally been wasting years and sets and reps dragging his ass. That's what he's been doing. He literally told us that the other day on camera when I did the commentary on it. So that shows you that he is not mentally strong. No, he's not. Sure, he dragged his butt through it, but there was no intensity because he was weak. He was not doing what he needed to do properly. This guy, this is inspiring. When I train with I told you guys the other day, I do 6 sets, typically for most of my exercises. And I take every single set to failure. Okay? When I do it, sure, it's a lot. But I do it with intensity as much as possible. Sometimes my rest periods will be 5 minutes. Because I want to give it my all. So all I'm trying to do is say, guys, don't sell yourself short. Train as intensely as possible. Do the very best you can. Don't let your mind do the talking, okay? Don't become defeated is what I'm trying to say. Don't become defeated. Push through. You just saw it right here. Think of this guy. Whether he's on drugs or not, this is inspiring. Seriously. Think about this. Larry's saying it too. He just woke up today and was like, he didn't know he was going to lift this, but he did it. And he tried 4 times. Freaking amazing.
To be honest.
I had to complete the workout. I can't go home without that.
Wow. You got me glowing right now. I'm happy for you, man, because I mean, the fact that in the last few months you just started getting back into training seriously, I'm really interested in what you're going to do in the next couple of years. Right. You know, if you're going to maybe compete in bodybuilding or even powerlifting, would do amazing.
Follow your pattern. Follow your lead.
You do both, brother. You do both.
Yep. All right, and action.
So again, there are very few people to get me fired up, but you are definitely one of them. Thank you so much for the inspiration today. I hope all of those watching feel a bit inspired that this is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Right. And you can look this damn good in your 60s. It is unbelievable. So hats off to you. That's a credit to decades of discipline and hard work.
Larry's not lying. Bodybuilding is a sprint, not a marathon. Yes, it is a sprint, not a marathon. It takes decades of hard work, consistency. I mean, he's not lying. But I think Larry also said that you can look like him in your 60s. I am sorry, bro or girl. I'm sorry. You ain't looking like him in your 60s. Maybe you can be as ripped as him. But this, I mean, listen, this guy's a special guy. If he's natural, this guy is a special guy, man. I'm looking at him right now. He does not look natural, dude. I don't even know what to say. Just, you guys let me know. I want to believe that he is, because he's an old man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to believe that the guy has some integrity. And with the way he speaks, he sounds like he has some integrity. He doesn't sound like some dirtbag, liar. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's too much, you know? Too much.
Share it on my platform.
Right. You gave me the same motivation and inspiration. 500 pounds on deadlift first time since I've been out of prison.
So we're talking 6 years since you've been out.
Yeah, I haven't touched some heavy weight. Right.
He hasn't touched a heavy deadlift at all in 6 years, and at 62 he decided to get 500 pounds. And as I was saying in the powerlifting room, with 1 rep max attempt, you get weaker after every attempt, but not for gym. It doesn't work that way for gym. The laws of physics do not apply for this man.
Right. You gotta get that psychological energy up there.
No kidding, I saw it. Yeah. You got a little loud, a little more pep in your step, and when people watch my OG powerlifting videos and you see me throwing stuff and making noise, me trying to channel that adrenaline,
right, yeah,
that does make a difference when you're hitting 1 rep max territory.
Right, you gotta say, you gotta happen now, but they ain't gonna have it all. You can't talk about what you could have did, what you should have did. What was it? No excuses, no excuses.
No kidding.
All right, you gotta bring it all, put it on the table in front of the world. All right, the world don't want to hear about what you could have, would have, should have did. All right, no excuses.
Very true. I mean, that's the right mindset to have. Now, with that said, if you guys want to see what he's gonna get up to after this, please follow him. I'll have the link to all of his socials down in the description box below. And we will see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Great.
All
time.
All right.
So that video was a wild ride. And the most wild ride of all this is I've been recording here for 2 hours and 44 minutes, people. What are you guys doing to me? You guys are crazy. But anyway, I had such a great time with you guys. It did not seem like 2 hours and 44 minutes. And let me tell you, you guys got me off, got my mind off of my hurt arm. And watching this guy is a reminder for me, shut up, Joe. Stop complaining. Go get your MRI and just rebuild and do better next time. You know what I'm saying? So, you guys, it was great being with you today. Be well out there. Thank you so much for the wonderful support on this channel. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will catch you all at the next video.